Hi, welcome to the Sheepdogs Report for January 2024. I'm your host, Minister V. Hill, and welcome. Now, last year, there were a lot of bills that got turned into law that you may not be aware of. Now, the funny thing about these laws, they all interlock with each other. So you do one, you're taking on the other three. Gavin Newsom, it appears, is doing some kind of revenge tour or revenge on the parents because of last year when we came out of the COVID scam. When we came out of that, we discovered that they were doing all kinds of things to our children within the school system that the parents didn't know about, and the parents reacted to it. One of the reactions was recalling him. Now, there was social emotional learning. There was also what's called DEI, which is diversity, equality, or equity, and inclusive training. And all of this was designed with an agenda behind it. Now, let's go over the first bill. Now, this is a bill that he actually turned into law. He rejected 4 laws and vetoed them, but they really didn't amount to much. It's the laws that he passed. He passed 8 laws that we need to be aware of. So we're going to focus in on some of those. The first bill is AB, that's Assembly Bill 1078. Now, what this is, now this is pretty slick. What this is a ban on banning books. You get that? It's a ban on banning books, but that's not what it's called. It's dressed up. It's actually called State Control Over School Boards. That's the way that they put it entitled. That's the headline. That's the name of it. When you go to ca.gov, the actual website of the state, that's what it will say. But what it means is they're banning the book banning. So the books that most parents were upset and thought that weren't part of the education and was too much and was not appropriate for certain ages, and we stood up and we went to meetings, we went to town halls, we went to PTA meetings, and we complained. There were fights, and what he decided was, okay, the state's going to step in. You can't ban any more books. Now, what this means, when you go to ca.gov, this is Newsom's statement. He says, California is a place where families, not political fanatics, have the right to decide what's right for them. I'll read that remark. This is Newsom's statement to the state, to the people. California is a place where families, now keep in mind, these were families that were fighting against Newsom, that were saying, no, these are not appropriate. Not political fanatics. It's almost comical. Now, in these books, this would also include your textbooks. This would include instruction materials, okay, and curriculum. Now, you do understand in some of these books, they're not telling them about sex. They're showing them how to do it. Yes, that's a lot of the books. So he's put a ban on that. Let's move on to the next one. AB, this is Assembly Bill 5. This is actual law now. Okay, this is the actual law. It says here, it requires teachers to complete a training course on how to identify students whose parents won't affirm the child's LGBTQ identity. I'll read that again. This is Assembly Bill number 5, which is now law. It requires teachers to take a course or take some kind of seminar to complete training. They're going to be trained on how to spot parents who will not agree with the LGBTQ community. Now, how will they be able to spot that? Simple. They're going to use the children. They're going to use the children to profile the parents now. And this actually ties into another law. I told you these are interlocking laws. Okay, so once they identify, well, let me just read this. This is what Governor Newsom's response. This comes off the website ca.gov. Governor Newsom signs legislation. This is the headline. It's not going to mention what it does. It's just the headline. Governor Newsom signs legislation supporting LGBTQ Californians. That's all it says. It doesn't mention them profiling and spying on the parents. Okay? Okay. And this is his what he said, some of his comments, that this is strengthens protections for LGBTQ Californians. He didn't want to mention kids. He didn't want to mention the AIDS. No. He just said California. Now, like I said, the object is, this is what you have to be warned, is that they're going to be profiling your child to profile you. So if they feel that the child is showing tendencies or not questioning his identity or sex or anything like that, or even if that's not the case, even if the kid is supportive of the LGBT lifestyle or wants to get away with something that he doesn't want his parents to know, he can hide within those bills to keep the parents from ever knowing. Ephesians 6:1-4 tells us that we're supposed to honor. It's a reminder of the first of the 10 Commandments, that we're supposed to honor our parents. But there's a bonus that comes along with that, so that you can have long life and be prosperous on this earth. So you honor the parents. So what this bill does is it splits that from ever happening. It's putting the kid against the parents. They're not concerned about the Bible. Remember, we're unessential, according to Gavin Newsom. Now, this next bill, Assembly Bill 223, and I like to call this the behind the back of the parents bill. This bill says this: any legal document associated with a minor's request to change his or her gender or sex ID are to be kept confidential from the parents that will not affirm. It's to be kept from the parents. So if by request of the student feels that they don't want their parents to know, they can lie to the counselor and say, oh, my parents might hurt me or something. But it's up to the counselor. Now, what I like to call, I also like to name this is the actual grooming process. They profile the parents, they profile the child and the parents. Now, this next law is the grooming part, which the parents don't know about. This is now law here in California, thanks to Gavin Newsom. He signed this into law. So these are some of the bills that were passed. If you want more information, you can go to our website, which is emptytoonmedia.com. emptytoonmedia.com. If you are a Sheepdogs Union member, you can go to sheepdogsunion.com. sheepdogsunion.com, and you can get detailed information and special instructions. On our next report, we're going to continue with some of the bills, and then we're going to give you some resources on how to combat this. Till next time, this is Minister V. Hill. We'll see you.